Hey, Candace here. Awesome. So we're rolling right along. So you learned the first right rule of social confidence in the last video. In this video, you're going to discover the top 5 reasons why people lack social confidence. Once you know why, then how to address it becomes fairly straightforward. Now, I've never met anyone who lacked confidence in everything. In fact, there are many things that we are so incredibly confident at doing, we simply take them for granted. Assuming that you're in reasonable health and don't have a significant physical disability, you are probably very confident about walking up and down stairs, using a knife and fork, opening and closing doors, and brushing your teeth. You weren't always confident about doing these things, it's just that you've been doing them for so long now, you take them for granted. So we don't lack confidence in everything. We lack confidence in specific areas. And if you're in this program, chances are that includes social situations. In my experience and in the research I've done, here are the 5 main reasons why people lack social confidence. Reason number 1 is excessive expectations. Do you have a mind that is never satisfied, always demanding more? If you do, you probably become fearful of making mistakes and become very critical of yourself if you don't meet your expectations. All of us, if we're honest with ourselves, get caught up in this way of thinking at times, and there's nothing abnormal about it. The human mind is naturally quick to find fault and insist on more. I mean, that was the issue for Charlie, right? If you remember Charlie's story, he was so afraid of making a mistake when speaking that he did everything he could to avoid speaking altogether. Reason number 2 is harsh self-judgment. Does your mind tell you that you don't have what it takes, or that you're no good at what you're doing? Does it say you're unlikable, inadequate, or incompetent? Does it claim that at any moment now you're gonna screw it all up, or that at any moment you'll be found out as a fraud? Did you answer yes to any of those questions? Well, guess what? You have a normal human mind. Most of us have been brainwashed about positive thinking, but the fact is the human mind is not naturally positive. Eastern models of psychology like Zen and Taoism have recognized this fact for thousands of years, that our minds have a natural tendency to judge, to predict the worst, to tell us scary stories about the future, and to dredge up painful memories of the past. Unfortunately, most Western models of psychology still believe that when our minds do these things, it's somehow abnormal or unnatural. There's something wrong that needs to be fixed. The fact is, you're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. Okay, so that was the main problem affecting Sam, right? Sam got caught up in her harsh self-judgments of not being attractive enough, not interesting enough. Reason number 3 for lack of confidence is preoccupation with fear. Preoccupation with fear. We all have our own private fears. Perhaps you are fearful of things going wrong, like Charlie, or afraid of rejection, like Sam. Maybe you're even fearful of fear itself. These kinds of fears are all common. But here's the thing. Fear in and of itself does not affect our confidence. If we dwell on our fears, let them stew and worry about them, that will create problems. Okay, it's not fear itself that affects our confidence. It's when we dwell on the fear that causes problems. The more preoccupied we become with our fears, the greater they grow, and the more likely they are to undermine our confidence. Right? So you get into this vicious cycle. The more you dwell on the fear, the worse it becomes, until eventually you start avoiding what you fear altogether. That happened with both Sam and Charlie, and maybe it's happened with you too. Reason number 4 is lack of experience. It's understandable if you have little or no experience doing something, you can't expect to feel confident about it. For example, you might be an excellent guitar player, but if you've never had experience of playing live before a huge audience, then the first few times you do it, you're highly unlikely to feel confident. Sam hadn't dated in years. She was out of practice. It makes sense that she wouldn't feel confident. Okay, so reason number 4 is lack of experience. Reason number 5 is lack of skill. Lack of skill. It's not natural to feel confident about doing something unless we are reasonably good at doing it. For example, I'm starting to learn how to speak Portuguese. Do you think it's realistic for me, being fluent in only one language right now, English, to feel confident about speaking Portuguese right away? Of course not. If and when, after lots of practice, I become reasonably good at speaking Portuguese, then I may well start to feel confident about it. But until then, I won't. That's the natural order of things. Okay, so reason number 5 is lack of skill. Okay, so those are the top 5 reasons: excessive expectations, harsh self-judgment, preoccupation with fear, lack of experience, and lack of skills. Now that of course raises the question, so how do we become good at these things? How do we address all those reasons that people lack confidence? Well, I answer that in the next video. So head to the next video now, and I'll see you there.